Every leader I talk to is asking the same question. How do I avoid becoming obsolete? I've been in enterprise tech long enough to know when something genuinely new is happening. Here's the problem. Most organizations are trying to innovate using the same operating system that got them here. They're bolting AI onto processes designed for a world that no longer exists. That feeling you have? That somewhere, someone just figured out how to do your entire business model faster, cheaper, and without your legacy baggage? They did, and they're not announcing it on LinkedIn. For years, we launched innovation labs and digital transformation programs. Dedicated teams, big budgets, the results, a graveyard of pilot projects that never scaled. Let me tell you why. The pattern was consistent. Innovation labs disconnected from the real business. Hackathons that died by Monday morning. Google's famous 20% time, mostly theater. The core problem was always the same. Turning an idea into a working prototype required too many people, too much time, and too much permission. That gap between imagination and execution wasn't a workflow problem. It was a moat, and it protected the status quo beautifully. So we tried something different, a new rule, 2 hours. If you can't build a working prototype in 2 hours, the idea isn't ready yet. Sounds simple, it changed everything. 2 hours per employee. Protected, uninterrupted, unmeasured time. Not about KPIs, not about deliverables, just exploration. It's basically a license to be curious without having to justify the return on investment in advance. Now let's talk about the math, because this is where it gets absurd. For a company of 1,000 people, this simple rule unlocks over 100,000 hours of potential innovation every year. Capacity you are already paying for, just sitting there, dormant. If even 1% of that time leads to a breakthrough, you've changed the economics of innovation entirely. Here's why the 2-hour rule works now when it wouldn't have 5 years ago. AI collapses the distance between idea and prototype. What used to take a team and 3 months now takes one person and an afternoon. All that friction, the approvals, the dependencies, the wait for engineering capacity, gone. A curious person with access can now build what used to require a budget and a business case. This isn't about hunting for $1 billion idea. It's about creating conditions where small discoveries compound. The innovation labs failed because they were fishing for whales. What you actually want is an ecosystem where 1,000 small experiments build on each other. That's how breakthroughs happen. Here's how it compounds in practice. Someone in accounting automates a tedious report, shows it to the team. Sales adapts it for contracts. Legal sees that and builds a compliance checker using the same pattern. Then IT realizes these aren't isolated tools. They're connected. So they build a platform that saves hundreds of hours across the company. One person's curiosity becomes everyone's infrastructure. You can forget traditional R&D. This stack is simpler. 4 pillars. Protected time, those 2 hours. Democratized tools, everyone gets the same AI access. A culture of sharing through quick demos. No slides, no theater. And compounding, every small win enables 3 more. The R&D department used to guard innovation like a medieval guild. Now the entire organization is the lab. So does this make people obsolete? No. The opposite. When tools get more powerful, the constraint shifts from production capacity to judgment. You don't need fewer people. You need better questions. Let's be clear. AI tools are brilliant, lightning fast, ruthlessly efficient, capable of analyzing more data in an hour than your entire team could process in a year. But they're tools. They don't know what to build. They're also completely lost without human guidance. AI has all the processing power, zero perspective. It'll give you 20 technically correct solutions. Only a human knows which one is actually right. And only a human can hold the context, the why behind the work, and connect it to what comes next. The machine executes. You decide what's worth executing. I call this the conductor problem. Your team isn't shrinking. They're being handed an orchestra of AI agents. Their job now? Direct that intelligence using judgment the machine will never have. Same people. Entirely different game. The accountant. With 15 years of undocumented expertise. Think about the accountant who's been with you for 15 years. All that undocumented knowledge. The deep, gut-level understanding of how things actually work. AI doesn't replace that. It gives her the tools to implement a decade of insights at the speed of thought. It weaponizes expertise that was trapped in her head, which brings every leader to the same fork. There are only 2 paths from here. Option A is the default. Business as usual. More meetings. Buy prepackaged innovation from consultants. Watch your best people leave for companies that let them build. Option B is simpler. Implement the 2-hour rule. You'll see results almost immediately. And you'll start building an internal innovation engine your competitors literally cannot buy. The choice isn't hard, but most organizations will still choose option A. It requires less change. And here's the absurd part. You can start this Friday. The CEO carves out the time. Week 2, you hold the first demo. It'll be awkward. Someone will show a chatbot that writes meeting agendas, but the seeds are planted. 6 months later, you'll have an organic R&D engine building the exact tools your business actually needs, without a consultant in sight. Tat, how to avoid becoming obsolete in the age of AI. The math is clear. The tools are ready. Your people are waiting. In a world where a few hours can produce what used to take months, the gap between having this rule and not having it grows exponentially. The clock is ticking. The ones who move now will lead what comes next. Follow for more.